Hey everybody, it's Shaq. The footage that you're seeing in the background here is actually the New League 317 Wintertide Cold Dot update. So I'm going to let that play while I talk about the kind of precursor to the build update that I'm going to show, which is something that I'm really excited about. I've been working on for a while on stream. If you've been following any of the live stuff or even in the Discord, you may know this, but I've been working on kind of a whole conversion of the Cold Dot build. And the reason is I'm making it part of a larger build project. I've been calling it Class Builds for Everyone. And the idea is that I'm going to take what I've kind of set up with the Cold Dot build and convert that into a 7 build guide series, essentially 1 build for each class, with the intention being that this is a help for new players in that they will be able to go in and no matter what class you want to play, no matter what damage type you want to use, and as many different styles of gameplay as I can cover possibly, I want to have all those covered. So what I've been doing to kind of kick off the guide update for this league is I've been rewriting everything. I'm going to show that now. You can kind of see here, I have basically rewritten the entire Cold Dot forum guide, and that's just kind of the start. It is incredibly shorter now. It is super condensed. The text formatting in a lot of cases is gone to make it easier to update in the future, and that's kind of part of this class build project. But just to kind of scroll through really quickly, you can see the coloring is a little more simple. It's, like I said, just kind of generally a lot less formatting, but in general, it's also a lot shorter. Look at this is literally the forum guide now. Used to be so big that it took up 2 posts, and now it's about a third of 1 post. The reason for that is, if I can go back to this cam for a second, I'm still getting used to the new stream room. The reason for that is the forum guide is now meant completely as an introductory sort of new player orientation. The advanced information is all found in the POB now. That's something that was a big problem with the previous guide is there's just a lot of kind of jumbling between going from a very beginner kind of new player friendly topic, jumping into something very advanced like the mechanics of Wintertide brand, back to a beginner topic and back and forth. And that doesn't really work for new players. So moving forward, all 7 of these build guides are going to be built the same way. I built this out to be kind of a usable template. So the beginner guide, or the forum guide rather, will have all of the beginner info in it. Anything that's just basically a high level view of the build. And then when you get into the actual POB, as you can see here, they are highly organized. Different build versions are different colors. The SSF and trade versions will be something that's consistent through all 7 builds. There will be SSF and trade considerations in there. The coloring carries over to the skill sections. It carries over to the item sections as well. You can see if you go into manage here, and the notes. These have a lot of notes in a good way. There's a lot of things broken out here to help you kind of understand what you're doing with the build really. And it goes as far as crafting guides even. So that's really it. That's as a general look at the build guides for the Class Builds for Everyone project. This is something that's going to be ongoing throughout 317 and really as long as it takes to get the builds going. So that is pretty much what I'll be working on kind of on stream and throughout the league. So with that being said, let's talk about Cold Dot specifically. The 317 update is done obviously because that was the whole kind of first build for the class build guide. There is not a lot to say. I'm going to keep this brief. It's still really strong. It changed very minimally from sort of the consensus endgame version at the end of the league. And what I mean by that is, as people realize determination is incredibly busted, armor is really good, and just kind of how to build around the new passive tree and the new defensives, the new defensive setups, auras, things like that. The build has ended up in a really good spot. So for the SSF version, just to highlight a couple of things, the SSF version actually dips over to the right of the tree. I'll make this a little bit bigger here, and let's go to this. The SSF version is actually going to dip over here and pick up. So you're going to see some Soul Thief action, but what's interesting is you're going to see a little bit of a Ghost Dance, and that's kind of been a cool discovery sort of in the late stages of this POB. Is the SSF version has room to drop Malevolence, still maintain a pretty decent DPS number, and pick up Grace and Ghost Dance for an extra defensive layer. So that's been really nice for the SSF version. The links are pretty standard. You're going to be using a triple Curse Bane. We've got the basic 4 auras here, you know, just kind of the normal stuff. And then for the trade version, it's, as you may expect, going low life, going into kind of a cluster setup and using Thread of Hope to pick up Divine Shield for some strong defensive layers, as well as Glancing Blows once you can cap your block and you have a way to gain energy shield back when you do block. So those pieces are very important. I've put the items in here, and one of the big notes that I want to highlight for people that are immediately going to look at the POB and think there's an issue with it. This is one of the most important, to me at least, parts of the POB, and that's that I purposefully show these at sort of a low end. The meaning, even when you're seeing the late end game trade items, these aren't corrupted shavs, these aren't +2 amulets, these aren't, you know what I mean? The build functions really well at a very base, like kind of low end level of whatever the setup is that I have in here. And with higher investment, you're going to get much better results. There are people in our Discord that are posting very achievable, like 25 to 50 Exalt trade league budgets that are getting up to, you know, 4.5, 5 million, 6 million DPS, and closing in on 5 digits worth of energy shield. So there's a lot you can do with the build. I would just encourage you. I'm actually, as I go back to a little bit of a face thing here, I'm really looking for feedback on this, because I'm using this to template not only future updates for this guide, trying to make that as simple as I can with broken out sections and things, but I'm also using it as a overall template for the rest of the class build project. So I'm really curious to know what you think. I have decided I am going to be league starting this. I considered moving to a different build to kind of get jump started on the testing for the other class builds, but just given the time frame, how much work it took to update this, all that kind of thing, I'm sticking with Old Faithful. I'll be league starting with Cold Dot, so I'm curious to know how your league start goes. Let me know what you think of the formatting, both in the forum guide and in the POB, and I will catch you guys for league start. You can see me live on Twitch, Shack Central. Hopefully I'll catch you there. Have a great league start, everybody. Bye.